Hey gang, welcome back to More Salt. Today I'm very excited because I'm going to be showing you how to make risotto and vegan scallops. This recipe is a little bit on the fancier side, so if you're looking to impress someone special, this is the recipe for you. If you've never cooked risotto before, it can be a little tricky. You just have to babysit it a little bit while you're cooking it, and that's really it. It's basically just a fancy version of rice. So to start out this recipe, we're gonna make the risotto first. So you're going to heat up 6 cups of vegetable stock on the stove while you gather up the rest of your ingredients. And the rest of your ingredients are going to be 2 cups of dry aborio rice. That is important. You always want to use aborio rice when making risotto. You're also going to need mushrooms, and I will be using mushroom scraps from our vegan scallops, which are made from king trumpet mushroom stems, which I will show you how to do a little bit later in the video. You're also going to need 1 small diced onion or half of a medium onion, 2 minced cloves of garlic, some dry white wine for cooking, 2 vegetable bouillon cubes, any fresh herbs that you want to use. I like using thyme, chives, rosemary. All of these go really, really well with the risotto and with the mushrooms. And of course, salt and pepper to taste. So like I said, you should have your vegetable stock heating up while you gather all these ingredients. And you're gonna start by sauteing your mushrooms first. And if you want, you can use oil, or you don't have to use oil, but you just want to heat the mushrooms over medium-high heat so they get a nice brown color. And you're just gonna saute them for a few minutes so that they're nice and tender, fragrant, delicious, and then you can season them with a little bit of salt and pepper if you desire. Then you're gonna put the mushrooms aside on a plate or a bowl, and we're gonna start cooking our onions and garlic in the pan. So you're gonna saute the onions first for a few minutes until they're nice and tender, a little bit translucent, and then you're gonna lower the heat slightly and add in the garlic because garlic tends to burn easily. Next, we're gonna add the vegetable bouillon cubes. So you're gonna pop those in there and break them up a little bit, mix them around so that the onions and garlic are well coated with all of that goodness. Next, you're going to add in your dry aborio rice to the pan along with the garlic, onions, bouillon cubes, and you're gonna toast it in the pan for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then you're slowly going to add your vegetable stock little by little into the pan. So I like to take a half cup scooper and scoop a half cup at a time into the pan. So you're gonna take a half cup of the warmed up vegetable stock, add it to the pan, give it a nice stir, and you constantly need to stir risotto while you're cooking it. So you're gonna stir it until all of the liquid is absorbed into the rice, and then you're gonna repeat until the rice is a delicious al dente texture. So this process does take a while, and this is why people find risotto intimidating because it takes about 20 to 30 minutes to really cook risotto properly. So little by little, adding in the vegetable stock, you might not use it all, or you might. It just depends on the rice and a few other factors, but you're just gonna play it by ear, keep your eye on it, keep stirring, and make sure that you taste as you go. When you think it might be done, try a few little bits of it to see how the texture is. You want it to be chewy and tender like normal rice, but it should have a little bit of a bite to it as well. It has to be that perfect balance of cooked all the way through, but not overcooked. So once the rice has absorbed most of the liquid and you've stirred, it's all perfectly cooked and delicious, you can set your risotto aside for now while we cook our vegan scallops. So you might be thinking, what the heck, how can you make vegan scallops? And I'm not using any weird, crazy ingredients here. I'm literally just using king trumpet mushrooms. And they look a little crazy, so get ready. Now, I'm sure your imagination is running wild right now, thinking of what these look like. And I'm pretty sure we all know what you're thinking. We all know. But this is what they look like. I don't know what to tell you. You want them nice and big, like this. You don't want the little baby ones. No one likes a small, dainty mushroom. A good place to buy these if you live somewhere in the middle of nowhere or just not a huge city, you can always, usually, I use always lightly here, but you can usually always find king trumpet mushrooms at an Asian market. Asians always have the good shit, people. They always do. So they usually carry these in the produce section. So check out your local Asian market, get acquainted, and get some king trumpet mushrooms. They're pretty phenomenal. And when you cook them just right, the texture is perfectly scallop-like. So to start making your scallops, you're just gonna trim the top and bottom half of the king trumpet mushroom stem, making sure that you only have the stem part. Then you're gonna cut your mushrooms about 2 to 3 inches in thickness, and they're gonna look just like scallops. And after that, you're gonna want to score the scallops on each side so that they get a even browning on each of the sides. And if you don't do this, it kind of only gets brown and crispy around the outside edges and not the entire surface area of the bottom and top of the scallop. So it's very important that you do this part. So, you know, just make a bunch of tic-tac-toe signs on the back and the front of each scallop. Then you're gonna add a good amount of oil, I would say about 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil in a hot pan. Heat that oil up in the pan, and then once the pan and the oil are hot, you're gonna add in your scallops, and you're gonna sear them on both sides. So each side should take about maybe like 2 to 3 minutes. Just keep checking it and make sure that it's getting nice and brown. You want a nice golden brown color. And once they're seared on both sides, you're gonna start adding in some vegetable stock, little by little, and you want the mushrooms to soak up all of that liquid. These mushrooms are a little tougher than most, so you're gonna wanna cook the stems down a significant amount to make them really soft and scallop-like. And this part takes about maybe 5 to 8 minutes, depending on how thick your scallops are and how tough the mushroom stem is, but you're just gonna wanna check them every now and then. So after about 5 minutes of you adding in more and more stock so that the mushrooms soak up all of the stock, you're gonna wanna just check it with your finger, maybe take one out, cut a little piece off, and make sure that they are getting nice and tender. Along with the vegetable stock, you're also gonna add in some soy sauce to give the scallops a delicious, hearty, salty flavor. After about 5 or 6 minutes of cooking the scallops with the vegetable stock and soy sauce on one side, then you're gonna flip it over to the other side so the other side can get tender as well. And once your scallops are all the way cooked through, nice and tender and delicious, you're gonna take them off the heat, plate up your risotto, and put those scallops right on top. You can finish the scallops off with a little bit of salt, pepper, lemon juice, fresh herbs, whatever your heart desires. If you do end up making this at home, which I hope you do because it is amazing and delicious and everyone loves it, make sure that you share it with me on social media. My Instagram handle is @MoreSaltPlease. You can also share stuff with me, your cooking process and the finished product on Snapchat as well. You can find me at NicoleRizaC on there. And be sure to follow me on Snapchat for all of my non-kitchen adventures. Well, there will be kitchen adventures, but my other life adventures as well. Take care of yourself this week, everyone. Eat good food, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!